Hey, how you guys doing, YouTube? Welcome to my motivational mix. Today's the evening. Happy, thank you for being here. Waiting for Facebook to get online. Facebook, come online. As soon as Facebook's good, we're good to go. Facebook's about to come on. Hey, Facebook's here too. Everybody, welcome to my morning motivational mix, or I guess now it's just a motivational mix, because who knows what time it's going to be when I decide to do this. When I'm inspired, I'm going to be inspired. So let's go ahead and get started. Those of you on YouTube, if you want to find me, it's Humble and Focus. You can search that on YouTube. Also, my name should come up too. We'll find out. So, we're talking about square peg round hole. So, as you can see, obviously I'm making a rectangle. This is not going to be a square, but I'm just cutting out pieces here that look somewhat squarish and also somewhat roundish. So, we're talking about square peg round hole, and you're probably wondering why we're talking about that. You've heard the joke, he's dense like somebody trying to put a square peg in a round hole, because it doesn't work, right? So the only thing that can go into a round hole is a round peg, and the only thing that can go into a square hole is a square peg, especially if you're trying to get an exact fit. The piece that was designed to go in there will fit, it will go in there. Obviously you can take something smaller and put it in there, but it's going to leave a lot of space around the outside, so it's not really going to cover and go all the way through and cover all the pieces that it needs to. Imagine having a circle hole in your door and you replace it with a small square. It's not going to cover, and all the bugs are going to come in, and people are going to be able to get in your house and steal your stuff, etc., etc. Okay? So what I did here, just for the sake of just a physical example and a physical representation of what we're going to talk about today, is I went ahead and cut pretty much as close about a circle as you can get, and square as you can get, for being what it is. It's just being quick. So I want to talk about this. So the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, we are kind of like the sheet of paper. Okay? Everybody in the world has pieces of them missing. Okay? And what do I mean by that? I don't mean by they're missing an arm or a tooth or a foot. What I mean is that the internal pieces of ourselves are missing. The pieces of ourselves that, a lot of us kind of ignore because we would prefer to do other things. It's a lot easier to get more money than to acknowledge the fact that we are not complete. See, because this piece of paper right now is not complete. If you notice that there's holes in it, right? So the square peg round hole, what this is a representation of is if you're trying to take this circle-ish thing here and you're trying to place it into here we go. It's not going to fit. You see that? It's not going to fit properly. And if you take this little thing, like I said before, this little old rectangle thing, you try to put it into the hole, it's not going to be able to cover that hole here. See that? So what I'm trying to say to you is we spend a lot of time not necessarily doing what we need to do to fix the inside of ourselves. We have a tendency as people to replace those things in our life that are most important, those things that are free, the mindset, the mentality, the love, the things that we need to feel. We replace it. Let's say, for example, you don't feel whole. Let's say you feel sad because you had a breakup for some reason. You replace it with another man or another woman. You replace it with drugs or alcohol. You replace it with more money, working hard, not thinking about it, time, sleeping, all these things. But none of these things can fill that hole or that gap. You see what I'm saying? We have to actually indulge in taking the time to find out who we are, find out ourselves, what we actually need, and don't mask it with a band-aid. It's like if somebody came and sliced me from here to here, and it was just open wound bleeding, and I decided to take one little band-aid and put it over there. That is not going to solve my problem. It's a much deeper problem. But our culture is actually designing us and creating these people in ourselves that don't go and look internal. It's easier to find what's external and grab it and put it over my heart. If I get a brand new car, that'll make me feel better about the fact that I'm lonely. That doesn't make sense. Or if I've got more money and I go out and drink with my friends, eventually you're going to have to come back to the point where you're going to have to deal with the fact that you're alone and lonely. But you have to do that with the right pieces. You have to indulge. The only way to fill that round hole is to find that round piece that you're missing. Getting another boyfriend is not going to help you. Treating people like crap is not going to help you to fill that hole. Because after you get done treating people like crap, after you get done getting a new significant other, after all this stuff that you've done to mask the problem happens, you will still have to deal with the issue at hand. The issue must be dealt with. There is no way to get around it. There's people who have been sad their whole lives, but the problem is that they haven't really taken the time to they haven't taken the time to develop themselves other than the physical external. Develop the internal and find people who are like you, because here's the problem. Imagine if all your friends are masking themselves with the square. What do you think they're going to tell you to do? Broken people cannot fix other people. Broken people are broken too. They can give great advice, but at the end of the day, they're giving experience from what they have, but they're still just as broken as you. Now, it's great that birds of a feather flock together, but that's why you have to seek something more for yourself. Seek something more. If you can become better, you filled your hole properly, you fill your gap properly, then you'll be able to help others to understand and feel that, wait a second, this is not right. All you're doing is just masking your problem temporarily. And you see it all the time. I mean, if you don't see it, go outside, go to the local bar and just listen to people. They're complaining and talking about something or something's going on, and they're just boom, boom, boom. They're sad. They're trying to fill sex, whether it be drugs, whether it be alcohol. They're trying to fill themselves with something, right? Even some people try to fill a loveless marriage with children or getting more stuff. But there's an initial problem. Doing that does not solve your problem. All it does is create a bigger problem and something you're going to have to deal with at a later time. Now, I'm going to go into some more stuff on a later date about the letter A and the letter H, and it's pretty cool, and you'll be able to enjoy it. But what I want you to think about here is this. Take some introspection into your heart, okay? Into your mind. Look inside of yourself. And if you're feeling sad and lonely, why are you feeling that way? And solve that problem. Now, I'm not saying solve that problem, because if you're alone, solving the problem does not mean rushing to the next guy who decides to look at you, smile at you, and make you feel good. Because that's not getting what you need. That's getting the temporary fix. You have to understand, the universe is designed to give you exactly what you ask for. But if you're not willing to wait for what you ask for, then the universe will continue to give you some of the bad stuff that you want. I see it all the time in people's relationships. When you're not willing to wait for the man that you want or the woman that you want, it'll keep sending you the crap that you've been getting. And you wonder why you can't find a good man. Well, are you allowing a good man to get a chance to come? Or are you settling for the crap that comes to you? Now, if you're in something, let's say you're in a bad relationship or something like that, and you can't find a way out, by staying in that relationship, what you're doing is you're telling the universe that you want more of this. That's the hardest part for people to understand. You have to make your decisions to move. You have to make the decision to create action. Action creates solutions. Staying where you are, doing nothing, creates no solution. Hoping and wishing creates no solution. It takes action. And you are willing to put in the work. That is the only way you're going to be able to put the round peg in the round hole and the square peg in the square hole. And you gotta get what I'm saying. I just can't hold this like this. But that's all I have to say, guys. Make sure, guys and gals, make sure that when you have something that's wrong with you, don't replace it with something fast. We have a culture that's designing us and creating us, and just if something's broken, we fix it. Wrong. The culture's creating us. If there's something broken, we replace it. Think of all the things in your life that you don't even realize that have warranties on them, that you could easily get your... Do you know that some shoes have warranties on them? I learned this from a friend of mine. He hadn't paid for shoes in like 5 years, but he keeps breaking his shoes. But how many people would actually take the time to go get the shoes and get the warranty to go get the shoes? They don't. They replace them. You know, we have a replaceable society. Everything is replaceable because things are done quickly, and it's quicker to get it done now. I want it now. But don't look at the right now. Look at down the road, because if you deal with it right now, it's going to cost you money and time. And money and time. You can get more money, but you can't get more time. So just be careful. You have one life to live. You have to make the decision for yourself to give yourself the best, because otherwise, you know, your life will be a waste. And I'm not saying that in a mean way. I'm saying that in a way that I care about you enough to let you know that, you know, putting yourself out there the proper way, you'll get the proper things. But as you begin to go out there just to fill these holes in your heart and these holes in your mind and the sadness, and you reach for the quickest thing to get there, you'll never fill that hole. You'll never fill that gap. Take that look inside of yourself and figure out what you need. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you for being here. I love and care about each and every single one of you. And you guys have a blessed Thursday, and I'll see you tomorrow. And remember, do not put the square peg in the round hole. Find the right peg for the right hole, and everything will be fine. Have a blessed day, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.